All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. Here's a quick lesson, as the title states, on why you should never apologize for something that you didn't do wrong. Now, if you've been watching this channel from about the past 2 weeks, you know about the videos that I did on certain people. That those people took offense to my videos. Some made public statements. Some made four-part series on Facebook, and it turned into a, sort of not a back and forth, but sort of a debacle, I would say, where people were calling, asking what was going on, this, that, and the other. People were coming out of the woodworks, basically, who I had talked to for years, and they were, asking me what was going on. And so it got to the point, in my opinion, and from some of the dear people that I talked to, that, I should try to make it right, right? And so my making it right was to apologize for the information that was shared that mentioned those individuals that may have been offensive, inflammatory, derogatory, right? And I went to a public meeting. I apologized to uh, the individuals personally and publicly for the information that was shared. And then I think last night I saw one of the individuals and I apologized to him personally for the information that was shared. But let me clear this up, because I did not apologize for reading an article and doing a video and providing the commentary. I apologize that the information or the commentary offended them. Now, that's a big difference. So let me get that straight, because once again, as soon as I, released the video about the apology, I started receiving calls and messages of, why did you apologize? You did nothing wrong, this, that, and the other. However, I didn't let that bother me, because once again, I was looking at the bigger picture. We're all black. We supposed to stand together. That narrative there, that people, whom I respected, was giving me that side of the issue. You're all, good people. You all do things in the community. So you should be the bigger person and take steps to rectify what could have been a messy situation. So I did that, because I can go either one way. I can go real nice, or I can get real mean. So to keep me from going the other route and sharing stories and things of that nature, I went, as some people call, the high road, is to apologize once again for the information I shared, not for sharing the information. But nevertheless, when you do things like that, there are certain repercussions. And this is what I mean. I'm going to tell you about two particular instances that has happened since I did that. Not to mention, the several calls and texts and people sharing other things about these other individuals that, put them in a negative light. But once again, I said I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to further, not going to put anything on it further. But here's the problem when you do that. Then you have other people coming to you and actually trying to get you to do things that they normally wouldn't do, because they took your apology for hurting people's feelings as, well, now, well, you do this, you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do this. So the day after I did the public apology at the city council meeting, the individual's mother called me. And the conversation went to the fact that, well, the apology was nice and I appreciate you for doing that. But what you really need to do now is take those videos down. Right? And so I listened to it, and I said, okay, I see where this is going now. Once again, I took the high road. Now, okay, that's never enough, right? That's never enough. You need to take those videos down. That would be the godly thing to do, right? Bringing God into the situation, of course. And that was another reason why, I apologized for them being hurt, because, well, that's not godly. You're supposed to be a man of God, and those things are the other. So I took all of those things into consideration. And, I made the apology for hurting their feelings with the information I shared. However, as I continued to listen, to this lady, I realized, okay, this is almost, what they call bullying. And Jay-Z made the reference in his rhymes one time, once you and my cousin Yon taking say the verse, once you become food, once you tag lame, the game is follow the leader. That's what it is. So there's a follow the leader tactic that has been, I guess, implemented now, because I'm gonna share you about this other message I got today after speaking to some children at Wayne Prep Academy. So that conversation went, and I was like, well, it'll be hard for me to take my videos down when I'm literally looking at a disparaging post that one of the individuals wrote about me on social media. So I was like, well, I can't take it down, because then, of course, then they wouldn't know what I would, quote unquote, be apologizing for. Nevertheless, that conversation went amicable. I made my feelings known about the situation, that I was done with the situation, what have you and what not. Yesterday, 2 days after I made the apologetic video, the individual's mother called me again. And at first she started out referencing a video I've did about another young brother, which I, shared that, when I do the videos, a lot of people get mad, but the actual person that I did the video on, they wasn't mad. So that was the point of that video. So she referenced that video, and then she said, well, yeah, when you share information, especially about a public official, and then I'm like, okay, here we go with this again. I thought we was over this. You called me yesterday about this, so now you're bringing that situation again. And as I mentioned, I said, okay, look, I already apologized for the information. I don't apologize for reading an article. We can read, we can go through and see what I said in the video when, she went on to, accuse me of saying some things that I didn't, but, people get my videos mixed up. So that conversation once again went, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're not going to do. You're not going to, continuously call me every day after I've tried to make, peace with the situation. I'm done with it, right? So, and then once again, I pulled up Facebook, and, there my name and my picture was still steadily flowing, steadily insults and everything like that. So I was like, well, and the woman justified it by saying, well, I don't have anything to do with that, and she used the God angle again, where you're a man of God, she isn't, that type of deal, right? So I was like, okay. So now I see, and once again, it frustrated me, because once again, I know what happens. Like, it's just like in the streets. If you get robbed one time, then you're going to have that reputation of being someone that everybody can rob. And the same with this. If I apologize one time, then everybody will expect me to apologize. In which, once again, I done told you there will be no more apologies. Not even for this video. Because once again, I've tried to move on, but, these individuals, and once again, I know how things like this operate. So I didn't think it would operate in this manner, because once again, all of these people, all of us supposed to be respectable, supposed to be able to move forward. However, these past couple of nights allowed me to see that, this is not the case. Now, the other individual, right, I would have to say this is a guy named Andrew from the Goldsboro Daily News. Now, mind you, earlier last year, at the end of last year, I did a video concerning an incident at the YMCA. This individual reached out to me, and I have the text messages and saying, and this sort of say, hey, my name is Andrew Stevens. I'm the director for GoldsboroDailyNews.com. I got your number from one of your YouTube videos. I was wondering if you have the statement that the Goldsboro Y sent out about the sexual assault that took place on a minor, or if you know where I might be able to find it. I said, yes, I have the email, and I sent it to him. Thank you so much. And so he went on and, talking about, how he would give me credit. And, he said, I'll even include a link in my story to your YouTube video, if that helps. Confirming that he got his story from my YouTube video, right? And I said, okay, I appreciate you, I'm a sports writer, no problem. I won't get to it tonight anyway. You're awesome, man. So here I send him the email. Now, I can post these texts if you want, but I send him the email. Thanks, Richard. I'll probably give you a call later this evening if you have to. Once again, here's another request. If you have time today to send me the police report, that will be awesome, and I'll be sure to include a link in my story to your video. You're a good man. Then 2 days later or a day later, he says, hey, Richard, do you remember the date of the assault at the Y? Was it like June 7th? I said June 26th. He was 3 weeks off. And then I said 3 weeks off. Then I said I just sent the report. And so then, he did the video. And then, he did his news article. And he sent me the copy of the news article. And then, he went to talking about it. And that was the last time I heard from him. No matter of fact, then he went to talk to me about another video I did, right? He said, if you can confirm anything more to this story that I didn't write and want to let me know, please. The hard part is getting the school system to confirm that they have to. I get it, though. There are so many laws about confidentiality that makes it hard to find. Now, once again, that was the he was talking about. I think this article he's referencing was the article on Mr. Ryan Nelson, because he mentions Ken Dirksen, which is the what is he? The liaison for the Wayne County Public School System, and this is once again, this is an article that came out in his paper the day after I released the information that Ryan Nelson was removed. And once again, this is an article that not precedes, it follows one of my YouTube videos. So here's the text I get today. Now that was in, I think, December, right? So here's a news reporter guy who's actually calling me, a YouTuber, to get information on this story with the Y, and also piggybacks off my YouTube video the next day with Mr. Nelson, and talks to me about both videos. So today he says, hey, Richard, I hope you are doing well. I wanted to reach out to ask, in the future, you could try not to use our pictures from our website as thumbnails for your video, even if it's just a stock image we use with the story. There's no hard feelings, and I hope you understand. Thanks, man. And so immediately when I heard, could you try not to, he's basically saying, don't use nothing, in our stories. That's what he's basically saying, right? Anybody can read that. I said, what image are you talking about? So he showed the picture that I used last night on my YouTube video concerning the 13-year-old that was shot. He said, it's on our website. I didn't get that anywhere from online. That came from an internal database of pictures we have to use when we post stories. My response, SMH, which means shaking my head. And the reason I'm shaking my head is because first thing that comes to mind is, not this the same dude that literally wrote a whole story off information that I provided for him? And so after I say shaking my head, he responds again. That picture is the story on our website about a 13-year-old boy shot this week while committing a crime. I have no problem with anyone referencing stories from my site or anywhere else in a video or anywhere else. I really don't. Using pictures from my website is different though. Once again, I shake my head because I literally gave this man a whole story, sent him emails from, that he would have never got, and sent him a police report, and also sent him other information on at least one article, right? And I just shook my head again. His response, like I said in my first text, I don't have any hard feelings about it. I have simply asked that pictures from my website not be used in videos. I'm not sure what part of there might be confusion about. I'm certain we aren't the only media outlet that would feel that way. And once again, I'm shaking my head because this doesn't happen if I don't apologize the other night. And the reason I know that, because he mentioned that apology in our conversation when he tried to get a little bit disagreeable, I'll say, for lack of a better word. And once again, after that, I just shook my head. He said, thanks, man. Have a good rest of the day. He said, I will. Just watch my list video. He said, Richard, honestly, if you feel the need to make a video about me asking you to not take our pictures off our website, that's your choice. I really don't mind. I have other things to do with my time. I reached out to you as politely and respectfully as I possibly could. And when I gave you valid valid points, all you kept saying is shaking my head. At that point, I said, have a good rest of the day. So if you think somehow I did something wrong, I'm honestly not sure what to tell you, but taking pictures from a media outlet without asking first isn't something you can just do whenever you feel like it. Once again, it's the politely and respectfully for me. You know what you're doing. Don't use our stuff. That's what you're basically saying. But you're saying this after you've berated and hounded me for information for 2-3 days, and you wrote a whole article about my information that I gave you, as well as you do it once again 2 or 3 days after I apologize. Now, I don't say anything about that message. He said, go back and read my first message. I reached out to you man to man. I was polite and respectful. I even said there are no hard feelings. I said nothing rude or disrespectful to you. I simply made a request. I'm not honestly sure what the problem is. Now, once again, he knows what the problem is because he sent 7 or 8 text messages, and the only thing I did was shake my head. And then my next response, my only response was, you literally made whole stories from my videos and my pictures. Shaking my head again. And he said, Richard, I have never used a picture from you for starters, and I write my own stories for the record. I got one police report. The email I got from the YMCA, I got from a coworker, and the phone number for the mom for the incident was on the police report. I said, I don't do a bunch of texting. If you want to talk like a man, then answer, right? And so, once again, he said he got the email from his coworker, but this is the copy of the email that I sent to him from the YMCA. So once again, so when we talk, I just said, look, man, what I said, the reason, that I'm shaking my head is because you literally did whole stories. And at that point, he cut me off, went to talking over me. So I said, look, we gonna have a conversation. We got to, we got to, you got to listen to me as well. If you're gonna cut me off, then there's no reason to talk. And then he went on another rant. And we got to the point where I said, look, man, you don't remember me giving you that information, and which story? Now he has amnesia, right? Which story? Now, I actually pulled up 2 stories right now on the text message, but of course, he's going to deny it, just like he said he got that from his coworker. Nevertheless, the conversation, got to the point where I was like, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? And you think you can do this, you know what I'm saying? Because, and he mentioned, he said, what do you, he got angry. He got angry. He said, and what are you going to do? You think everybody watches your videos and this, that, and the other? And what are you going to do? You're going to apologize like you did to Brandy and her mother? And I said, okay, you just proved my point. This is why, he felt that he could text me and say, hey, politely, could you not use any pictures? Because I referenced his stories before. I've took the same picture that he used in the story, and there has been no conversation. But like I said in the beginning of this video, once you try to be nice, you try to be kind, and as the old saying go, people take your kindness for weakness. So this gentleman felt like that he could reach out to me like I've been any article, pretty much that I see, and that might have a thumbnail that goes with the picture. I download it and may use it, right? So, nevertheless, this proves my point why I should have never apologized when you've done nothing wrong. So I took some advice from people who I respected, and I expected the situation to end. But as I see, I got, once again, people kind of coming at me, and you can say it all nice and politely. What he's saying is, don't use my stuff. But after I've given you information, and we've discussed two of your stories, and there was no problem for the past however many months since you first reached out to me. Let me go way back. That was in December the 9th, right? I got your number from one of your YouTube videos, and I was wondering if you have the statement from the Goldsboro Y, So I helped this gentleman, but then, once I apologize and once I, show people, and if you can look at that video, you can tell I really was struggling with it, because I know in my heart that I did nothing wrong, but because of being concerned about other people's feelings, I made the mistake, and I'll say it is a mistake now because of the feedback I'm getting, of the backlash that I'm getting, of the passive aggressive actions that I'm getting. Like I said, that individual's mother has called me 2 days in a row talking about my videos and even asking me at one point to take them down. So that's when, apology is never enough. They want to, berate you, and, I've heard someone else say, to one of my friends, and a very respected lady that I know, when my friend took up for me and said, well, yeah, he already apologized. Well, he needs to make amends. And see, that's where we go with this. Once you try to make the high road, because once again, I'll stand on it. I did nothing wrong. I apologize for the information, for hurting these people's feelings. I don't apologize for sharing the information. Okay, let's get that straight. Nevertheless, I see people once again they want to pile on you, and I have people calling me and checking on me. I'm like, I'm fine, what I'm saying? But people know how it turns now, right? So you apologize, so you must have did nothing wrong. No, I apologize that the information I shared hurt their feelings or hurt their reputation, but I don't apologize for the information I shared that came from an article. So there you have it. I hope this makes sense. I hope people understand why I did this video. I hope people will understand that, sometimes when you do something wrong and when you do something right, or when you do something right, but, people are hurt in the process, then sometimes you just got to let it roll. Because I promise you, if I don't do that apology, the guy literally mentioned it in his call. Well, you apologize, and you gonna apologize. You'll be right up there apologizing like you did with Brandy mother and them. So I'm like, okay, this what he think that's his, right? So I'm not that guy, and like he said, I got a lot of stuff I got going on, outside of you know, this YouTube thing I do, which I enjoy, and I thank y'all for watching my videos. But you know, it's just amazing because you know the guy got a little loud and stuff, and I want to see you know if that same energy is there, you know, when we see you know if we see each other, you know we'll have a conversation. Let's see if that you know that same tone will be manifested in that meeting. But you know, and once again, there's no hard feelings. But I just find it funny that you know after I apologize and people call me saying, okay, well take this video down, or you know, well you got to be careful. So now it's a whole, you know, it's a whole okay, you know, he's soft now. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that ain't it. But you know, once again, I do try to keep the peace. If anybody knows me, I try to keep the peace. I'm a peacemaker. You know, so blessed are the peacemakers. You know, but that's what it is, man. I just had to share this video because you know those calls were surprising enough, you know, and I let those go because I didn't want to talk about the individual's mother again. However, you know, with this text right here, I'm literally leaving. Just finished speaking to a room full of 4th through 7th graders at a preparatory school in Wilson. Then I have to come, you know, to this. And be like, man, okay, just shaking my head. And that's the reason why I shook my head, because I didn't want to say what I wanted to say, which was, bro, you literally reached out to me and took information from my YouTube video and did a whole news story on it. But, of course, he'll deny it. Yeah, 2 days later, I had Mark Pritchard on the phone. And just, what is that? You don't know about the story. You know, and he did have courtesy enough to admit that he doesn't know about that why story unless he sees my YouTube video. Oh, congratulations then. You know, it's that type of deal right there where, you know, you realize that when you know, you try to be nice and kind, that some people take that kindness for weakness. But my number is 919-587-7782. Feel free to call me anytime, man, about this video or any other video. Because once again, this is unapologetically Richard Taylor from now on. So it is what it is. God bless. Peace and blessings.